The cars on our list are so expensive that we can only daydream in envy at the fact that somewhere in the world, another human being owns a car that can invariably solve all our problems. And yet, it will hardly get driven, or worse still, become old in a decade or so from now. Perhaps this list will help put things in perspective. So, here goes. Number 7. The 777 Hypercar. It has been dubbed a sports car that's ahead of its time. It's debuting in 2025 at an asking price of $7.6 million, just as the design and engine are already out partying. This Italian stallion is not to be confused with certain other Italian cars. It's a result of a wild collaboration between automotive geniuses and fashionistas that will remain unnamed to avoid spoilers. Now, this car doesn't play by the rules. It's designed purely for the racetrack, so no license plate and no pesky regulations to cramp its style. It's so exclusive that only 7 of them will be birthed into existence, and each owner gets a fancy simulator to practice driving their expensive toy. The simulator alone costs $112,000. Moreover, it will run on synthetic fuels, reducing its carbon footprint by a whopping 65%. This car is so extreme that even when it's just sitting there, it's still hardcore. Certainly, it's a beast on wheels, and it's coming for your dreams. That is, if you can afford one. The next ride is just as expensive. Number 6. Mercedes-Maybach Exelero. It's the sports car that's practically a unicorn. This one-of-a-kind masterpiece was built to test some fancy tires, and back when it first debuted, it came at a production value of $8 million. It was in fact commissioned by a tire company called Fulda, just so they could see if their Carrot Exelero tires could handle speeds over 217 miles per hour. Talk about taking your tire testing to the extreme. And apparently, they even roped in Maybach for the design. Under the hood, this beast rocks a twin-turbo V12 engine, more like a jet engine in a car. Consequently, it can hit 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds, which is faster than you can say Exelero. And don't sweat on the interior, complete with dark and red leather, carbon fiber, and aluminum accents. And it's got sports seats with red harness-style seatbelts for when you're breaking speed records. All in all, the Exelero is the kind of car that makes you question your life choices, as with this next one. Number 5. Bugatti Chiron DII. This is a car so exclusive that you might have to mortgage your house just to hear its name. Bugatti's president clearly has a knack for making one-offs that break the internet and bank accounts. For instance, this one goes for a whopping $11 million. They've decided to make 10 of these, each with a price tag that would make even Scrooge McDuck's vault feel a little tight. But it's not just about making money, it's a heartfelt tribute to Bugatti's past, more specifically to a car called the EB110, a true marvel with a quad-turbo V12 and carbon fiber everything.
Draws its character certainly from inspiration of the EB110. Classic Italian sports car stance, low front nose, small horseshoe grille, and also performance rear end.
On its part, the Chiron DII is supposed to be lighter than a Chiron and packs a whopping 1,578 horsepower. But first, if you can find one of the lucky 10 Chiron DII owners, you might just be able to rub shoulders with these million-dollar high flyers and brag about your expensive tastes and style.
There is a strong, or there should be a strong relationship between the owners of historical cars and new cars. So yes, we want to attract them also for our new lineup.
Just remember to bring your checkbook, because owning a Bugatti isn't child's play, nor is a one-off Rolls-Royce either. Number 4. RollsRoyce Boattail. Imagine having so much money that you can treat yourself to a car that costs as much as a small island, $10 million to be precise. Well, meet the RollsRoyce Boattail. This car is like a yacht on wheels, with its classic blue exterior and more wood than an automobile can handle. Did we mention that it's a coach build? It's got a massive hat shelf in place of rear seats, because who needs passengers when you have champagne and custom attaché cases? And speaking of champagne, there's a cooler in there for a bottle of 1970 Dom Perignon, because if you're gonna pop a cork, it better be as vintage as your car. The Boattail's design is classic yet minimalist, with hidden buttons and a front end that's basically an aluminum fortress. And let's not forget the panoramic glass roof that makes it feel like you're driving a luxury greenhouse. Under the hood, it's essentially a Rolls-Royce Phantom, but still, the outside looks really good. The lucky number 8 on the registration plate suggests this beauty is headed to the Middle East, probably to park beside someone's gold-plated palace. And the good news is, Rolls-Royce's CEO says they're open to making more of these completely exclusive coach-built masterpieces. But let's face it, there's only one Sweptail, and you'll need a lottery win or 2 small islands to get your hands on one. Or perhaps you desire to own a highly exclusive Bugatti. Number 3. Bugatti Lavur Noir. Meet the Bugatti Lavur Noir, a car worth a staggering $16.5 million. You'd think the owner would lock it away in a vault, guarded by dragons and laser beams. This magnificent beast recently made an appearance in Croatia, of all places, at a supercar owners circle event. And they didn't just bring it there for a show, they actually drove it on public roads and on an airstrip. More like playing catch with a Fabergé egg at the park. More importantly, who was the mysterious owner strong-headed enough to bring it out in the open? The Lavur Noir draws inspiration from Bugatti's Type 57 SC Atlantic, so it's got a few tailpipes and a rear-end light bar that could light up a runway.
So it's about cruising, really to enjoy the ride and also to enjoy the looks from the people which are seeing you passing by.
Under the hood, it's got the same engine as the Chiron. Now, the big question is it worth $16.5 million? That's more than triple the price of a Bugatti Bolide, a car that's so extreme it probably makes astronauts dizzy.
So it came why we took basically this car and turned it into a car that we called Lavur Noir, because this is how the colleagues and the family of Jean Bugatti called his car.
But when you're in the league of Lavur Noir owners, pocket change is for the peasants. Then there's the even more rare pair of Rolls-Royce cars up next. Number 2. RollsRoyce Boattail. We now present to you the RollsRoyce Boattail, a car so exclusive that if it were any more exclusive, it would probably come with its own private island.
They came up with the idea of Boattail, and that's the lovely, magnificent car in the back here. And that took us 4 years to develop and to engineer and to craft and to design.
This isn't your everyday car. It's a handcrafted masterpiece, the second in a series of 3, each worth a staggering $24 million. That's more expensive than a small castle. Now, this car isn't just about going from point A to point B. It's actually a homage to the client's father, whose family business was in the pearling industry. So, naturally, the car's design is a nod to pearls with a blend of oyster and soft rose that changes color like a carmelian at a disco. The bonnet is finished in cognac color, because when you're driving a 20 million pound car, you want it to match your favorite drink. It's got bronze and aluminum flakes, a crystallized coating, and a GPS system to probably guide you to the nearest vineyard. The Boattail even has a wooden deck at the rear, hiding a hosting suite with a butterfly design dining set. So why eat at a restaurant when you can have a Michelin star meal on your car's rear deck? As per the interior, it's all walnut-colored leather and rose gold accents. Now, regarding the $24 million asking price, this one might require a suitcase full of gold bars as payment. And considering the last Boattail released a few years ago was within that price range, you might as well kiss your retirement fund goodbye. The next one is yet another exclusive coach build. But before we go into that, hit that subscribe button to keep seeing amazing videos like this. Number 1. Rolls-Royce LA Noir Droptail. The Rolls-Royce LA Rose Noir Droptail is simply a rolling piece of art. This beauty is the result of a 4.5-year endeavor involving the marquee's most ambitious clients, those who probably bathe in champagne and have secret handshakes that open bank vaults. They essentially banded together at one of their elitist meetings to come up with the idea. Basically, the kind of folks who can afford to order a custom car that costs more than a private jet, somewhere in the region of $30 million. Inspired by American coach builders from the early 20th century, this Droptail isn't just a retro throwback, it's also a modern masterpiece. It's got a redesigned Rolls-Royce monogram badge and a grille that's not pointing to the sky for the first time in Rolls-Royce history. They've even thrown in some carbon fiber too. Sadly, the roof doesn't fold, so you'll have to choose between having a roof and risking a rain shower. Under the hood, it's got the classic 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12, but with an extra 30 brake horsepower. Inside, it's all about wood, and not just a few wooden panels. The car is in fact a piece of art that combines 1,603 individual individual pieces of wood, with 533 of those painted red to look like scattered rose petals. And let's not forget the removable 43mm timepiece specifically designed by Audemars Piguet. It comes with its own luxury watch. So what would I create if I were designing my very own Rolls-Royce? Probably a car with a built-in coffee machine, a massage chair, and a button that summons a butler to bring me snacks. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.